Good afternoon, race fans. Welcome here to race number 8 of the final season of the PCSRA Foster Series powered by the WRA. Welcome to the Rock, Rockingham, North Carolina at the North Carolina Speedway. Getting set for our 8th race on the year. After today, we only have 5 more races until All-Star Race Weekend at Charlotte Motor Speedway. For the second week in a row, Arena McShane starts on the pole position. Last week, she started on the pole. Didn't have a good finish, if you ask me. Dropped 7 spots down to 16th in the points. She is alongside of William Davis. He was the big loser, dropped 10 spots down to 17th in points, which he fell in the top 10 after he was involved in the dreaded big one. Daniel Witter having a rough start to the year. She is 31st in the points table, the former Oreo Cup Series champ. And Jacob Foster is 12th in the standings. Another good run for him. He will jump himself up into the top 10 in the points. Look at the rest of the lineup, which looks somewhat familiar. And we're going to get these cars moving off pit road. As long as nobody has any issues getting off the grid. And it looks like so far so good. As I'm getting interrupted by a phone call, which I need to end up. I apologize about that. I had a phone call. I don't know why it interrupted the premiere. But anyway, we'll get to your points in just a second as we're going to go green flag racing for 138 laps. 20 laps longer than our Winston Cup race. We'll see what kind of track position we're going to see in this afternoon's race. As here comes Arena McShane and William Davis, and the Subway 400 is underway. A crew chief's worst nightmare. The sun is out. That means this track is going to be very hot, very slick. These cars are going to slip slide around. That's one of the things about Rockingham, North Carolina. Arena McShane will lead the first lap. Here comes William Davis in the 3. As looks like we might be under caution. Are we under caution? Yes, we are. Cody Majorek is involved. Well, that didn't take long for the first incident of the day to happen. It's like a wreck in turn number 4 is why we're under the yellow for the first time today. Not really that surprised, to be quite honest with you. Now everybody is slowing down, going to catch up with the pace car as Jessica Parker is going to be catching up to the field. Little early to be coming to pit road, especially we've only completed 2 laps. I would assume the leaders would stay out. Everybody that might have been involved will probably come to pit road. So as William Davis leads us under our first caution of the day, let's jump back, look at a replay to see what happened to Cody Majorek in the early stages of the Subway 400. Here's what happened to Cody Majorek, as it looks like they were nearing 4 wide. Emmanuel Hartnett gets up out of the gray. He's going to get in the wall right there, comes down into Cody Majorek, and ends up spinning the Ziegler Chevrolet around. And S Ozkan second in points involved. Uh-oh. That's not good. Remember, he's trying to run down that gal right there in the 34, Lucy Grainger, for the points lead, and there is damage on the Shell Pennzoil Dodge as a result. Boy, Katsira Mirvo has nearly clipped the 77. Cody Majorek dropped 2 spots down to 19th in the points. This is not what he needed, but second in points is involved, and that is big-time damage right there. A lot of damage. I don't know if that will be out of the race or not. If it is, that's good news for the gal that Summit was trying to run down for the points lead in Lucy Grainger's. The caution's out for the first time today. Let's jump to the restart here at The Rock. We are going to go back to green flag racing on lap number 7 of 138, very early in this race. William Davis is the leader, Riley Anderson second, Arena McShane is third. Fourth is Maddie Crenshaw. Fifth is Vanko Seaman. Eric Stanbury in sixth. Grace Takayama seventh. Daniel Witter is eighth. Ninth, Kyle Langland. Jacob Foster completes the top 10. Nobody out of the race after that incident. But they did bring the 22 in the pit road, remove the hood off that 22 machine. Manuel Hartnett did come to pit road to repair some damage. I think Bryce Egan also came to pit road and must have been involved in whatever happened to him. And correction, we already have a driver out of the race, Adina Almas. Looks like the engine let go on the 10. She came as race 23rd in the points. She really did not need another poor finish. Green flag back in the air. So I take that back what I said about one driver. Everybody's still in the race. And unfortunately, Adina Almas, the first driver out. Now we're in a single file restart. Let's see what kind of run we can get. These drivers can go about 98 laps. For those drivers that came to pit road on lap number 3, they would need to go about to lap 100 to make this on 2 pit stops. Whereas these leaders that stayed out made the right choice. You know, a little early in the race to make pit strategy. I mean, if it was on times 2, that could be a different story. But William Davis, Arena McShane, Grace Takayama right now in third. Grace is 29th in the points coming into this race. Daniel Witter 31st. Kyle Langland comes in this race that critical 30th in the standings. Needs to stay in the top 30 in the points if he gets a win to have it count for a spot into the chase for the championship. Right behind him is Lisa Gonzalez. Lisa's making her first start on the season. Haven't seen Lisa Gonzalez since the Monster Energy series. Of course, she will be a part of that series along with this gal right here, Riley Andersen from San Fran. She's from Minnesota, now living in San Francisco. There's Maddie Crenshaw, Jackie Tang. Maddie Crenshaw 32nd in points, Jackie Tang 34th in the points. Both of those drivers needing a good run here today. As Arena McShane starting to drop back. She was in 4th, now back to 9th. Mount to be falling out of the top 10. As CJ Bracken is back here at the rear of the field. Not sure why. Does he got damage to the car? I'm seeing no damage on the Dollar Tree Dodge. Is he a lap down or something? He is a lap down. Eric Stanbury made an unscheduled pit stop. The question is why? Oh, there might be some skid marks. I saw some skid marks in turn number 1. Could that be a reason why the 42 and the 35 came to pit road? If that's the case, that's a tough break for the both of them. In particular, baby CJ, who could not ill afford another poor finish. And baby CJ needed a good finish today. That's not going to happen unless we get some attrition. And I'm not so sure if the 10 car might have been involved in an incident I was not aware of. We'll have to look back at a replay, or I'll look while we're still while this is still going on. You know, while I'm thinking about it, let me see if Adina up. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like she did blew up. There was no damage on the 10. But I need to find out why baby CJ is a lap down. I don't know if he had damage or not. Let's see. It's like that was not the camera angle I want. I want to double check and see. Yeah, he just came to pit road after that restart. Oh, Carmen Alejandro's around. Oh boy, it is a disaster for Legacy Motor Club. The caution, however, is not out. We are still green. That's a nightmare for Legacy Motor Club. CJ Bracken's had troubles. Now Carmen Alejandro has run into troubles. Looks like she spun off of turn number 4. But because she was out of harm's way, the officials did not throw a caution. Jessica Parker's got some right side damage. I'm starting to wonder if she had something to do. She's got damage to the back end of that car. Oh, got a wreck. Hold on. I saw a wreck. That's Cody Majoric again. Caution is out. Looks like Ponzo Albanese. Oh, there goes Hartnett. Oh, Parker's involved. Oh, boy. Caution is out. Ben Erickson's got damage. And Carmen Alejandro has come to pit road, along with baby CJ. So the caution is out. Let's take a look at a couple of replays. First, let's see why Jessica Parker had rear end damage, why the caution didn't come out for Carmen Alejandro. Then we'll take a look and see what brought out this second yellow here at the Rock. Looks like we figured out where the rear end damage came from on the 48. It was from Carmen Alejandro. As Parker's going to get into the wall right there, she's going to come down into Carmen Alejandro. And Eric Stanbury is going to spin the Carvana Dodge. Almost got Jessica Parker again. And because she spun out of the way, the officials did not throw the caution. And Carmen Alejandro was going to come to pit road to repair the damage on the back end of that machine. So that would explain why Jessica Parker had the rear end damage. And why we saw Carmen Alejandro while we were trying to find out why there was skid marks in turn number 1. Those right up here. I don't know where that came from, but that's a tough break for Carmen Alejandro in the 84 machine. So that's why the yellow didn't come out for Carmen Alejandro, why she was getting back up to speed. Now let's see what brought out our second caution of the day. Well, Cody Majoric's already had a bad day so far, and I think Ben Erickson's going to misjudge it. But unlike the last time we were here at the Rock, this one was kind of one of those didn't realize kind of deals. Erickson gets into the 77, nowhere for Ponzo Albanese to go. And of course, unlike what happened in the Winston Cup Series where Ben Erickson got a 3-race suspension for causing an incident under the yellow, this one is probably like a racing incident. I don't know if this will mean retirement for the 77 or not, because that's 2 cautions he's been involved in. And that's not good for the driver at Aspire Motorsports. So that's what brought out our second caution of the day. Let's jump to the restart here at the Rock. Forgot to show you the Emmanuel Hartnett incident. This is, by the way, coming back to the caution. Watch the 35. I don't know why the 35, I mean, the 35 just washed up the track in front of the 17. And unfortunately, Jessica Parker, 2 incidents in a row she gets involved in. So remember, Parker came in this race top 10 in the points. This will drop her out of the top 10 in the points just like that. And boy, a lot of drivers who are running well in points, that's not good for them. So that's why Jessica Parker's got the front end damage. I don't know if she'll be out of the race or not. But I've just been told Cody Majorek, they have pushed that car back behind the wall and out of the race. So that's a tough break for Jessica Parker. Now let's head to the restart here at the Rock. Looks like baby CJ got trapped a lap down as we're going to go back to green on lap number 27 of 138. I think these drivers are going to have to make it the rest. We'll have to pit one more time before this race is over. Daniel Witter is the leader. Riley Anderson still in second. Maddie Crenshaw is third. Lisa Gonzalez is fourth. Alina Ritchie fifth. Kyle Langland sixth. Scarlett Wallace seventh. Grace Takayama eighth. Ninth, Carolina Bradley. And 10th is the points leader, Lucy Grainger. It's like they gave Eric Stanbury a penalty. They held him a lap for that second incident. And as I mentioned, Cody Majorek is now out of the race, joins Adina Almas back behind the wall, who went out with an engine failure. So we have 40 drivers in the race, 37 of them on the lead lap. Green flag back in the air here at the Rock. CJ Bracken, not sure if he had because he was so slow just after the leaders were getting ready to catch him, put him a lap down. So I don't know if he had a problem or if his left front, or if he had a tire going down. Whatever the case, he got trapped a lap down, trying to get back on the lead lap. As Daniel Witter is getting her first lap sled this season. Comes in this race 31st in the points. Here comes Ricky. That's the 41 of Elena Ricky. She is 6th in points coming in this race. She will take the lead. Riley will move her way up into second. As that 41 team off to a good start this season, a single car team, or the only single car, the only full-time 41, because remember, Reggie Fogelman failed to qualify yesterday and pulled a qualifying. Of course, that 14 is a non-chartered team. Riley Andersen running in second. Riley Andersen comes into this race 9th in points, dropped 3 spots after last week's race, as they're going to put Carmen Alejandro back a lap down. Remember, Carmen Alejandro had to come to pit road after she got damaged when she got turned by Eric Stanbury coming off of turn number 4. And the caution is out. Big break for baby CJ. He will be back on the lead lap. And who brought out this caution? Maybe Lisa Gonzalez, because she's back here at the rear of the field. Or Ben Erickson, because Erickson's going very slowly. Oh, nope, it's Eric Stanbury. That would be... Oh, Priya McShane, last week's winner, involved. Oh, dear. 1 week removed from her first win of the season, Priya McShane... She just got herself back in the top 30 in the points. Now she just found herself out of the top 30 in points as the yellow for the third time is out. Let's jump back, look at the replay to find out what happened to the 21. Eric Stanbury has been causing some issues, and this is the yellow he just caused. Of course, he's a lap down in 38th after the rough driving he did on that incident, and doesn't look like he's going to earn his competitors any respect, as Troy Kang ran into the back of the Monster Energy Chevy. I don't know. Wow. Bria McShane had nowhere to go. Chase Brooks runs in the back, ripped the right front fender, and also sideswiped Samad Ozkan, but Ozkan did a good job saving it. Chase Brooks got front end damage on his Lucas Oil Chevrolet. The one thing Chase Brooks did not need is another bad finish. And remember, he's 35th in the points of the 36 charter teams. And Stanbury came in this race fifth in points. This is going to knock him out of the top 10 of the points leaving today. So not good. And it looks like Lisa Gonzalez wasn't involved. I think she came to pit road, and unfortunately she got trapped the lap down as a result. Not entirely sure what was wrong with the 55, but that's a tough break for her. But we're still in the early stages of this race as we're going to head to the restart here at the Rock. Going to go back to green on lap number 36 of 138 as we're not even close to the midway point of this race. Alina Ricky is still the leader. Riley Anderson second, Scarlett Wallace in third. Fourth is Carolina Bradley. Looks like CJ Bracken got put a lap down again. Paul Minnick is fifth, Kyle Langland sixth, Matty Crenshaw seventh, Daniel Witter eighth, ninth is Alex Hawkins, and 10th is Anthony Ricky. CJ just got himself back on the lead lap. Unfortunately, got put a lap down again. Ben Erickson got put a lap down, and so did Lisa Gonzalez. Looks like those two had unscheduled pit stops as a result. Drivers out from that incident is Priya McShane and Eric Stanbury. I mean, CJ just got back on the lead lap, but apparently he came to pit road for some reason. So his pit crew decided, nope, we're going to make sure you stay a lap down, which makes zero sense. Or CJ could have stayed out, got the waiver on, got back on the lead lap instead of going back a lap down. So, yeah, that's a questionable decision by the pit crew there for whatever reason. As we are still green flag racing, Jessica Parker, Chase Brooks came to pit road to repair the damage on their cars. Doesn't look like they're going to be up to speed anytime soon. Carmen Alejandro trying to get back on the lead lap. Cody Majoric was checked and released from the care center just before that last caution came out. So Eric Stanbury will drop out of the top 10 of the points, and Arena McShane's poor finish, that will drop her outside the top 30 in the points, and her win will not count for a spot into the playoffs for right now. So she's got 18 races to work her way back up in the top 30 in points, as Riley Andersen made an unscheduled pit stop, and she has fallen a lap down. Not really sure what happened. So apparently we're having tire issues or something like that. Whatever the case, that's a tough break for Riley. Was running in top 5 for the early part of this race. As these drivers will have to pit at least one more time before this race is over. Paul Minnick running in second in that 38 machine. Paul Minnick comes into this race. So I'm looking for the 38. And apparently I can't find him. Oh, there he is. He's third in the points. He's another driver that was trying to run down Lucy Grainger for the points lead. CJ Bracken back on the lead lap. Now, if his pit crew would stop calling him to pit road so he can get back on the lead lap, that would be great. Because the pit crew likes to find a way to screw him over. As Minnick is getting his first lap sled of the season. Now we have 36 drivers now on the lead lap, 38 still in this race. And as things stand, 4 drivers of the 42 starters as of now will fail to finish. As Minnick trying to put Lisa Gonzalez back a lap down. Carolina Bradley right now in second. Carolina comes into this race 25th in the points. Penske has yet to go to victory lane this season. So I heard somebody come in the pit road. Let's see who was on pit road. Either that or I was just hearing things as we're checking back here at the back of the field. Bryce Egan battling with Katsira Mirmoez. Good battle here between Senior Sean. Not S-H-A-W-N, it's S-E-A-N. Sean Art. Seeing Jacob Foster having a quiet run in 12. Jacob's trying to keep himself still in the top 30 in the points. So far, so good. Ben Erickson, Daniel Whittle. Daniel Gitirokh, Alina Ricci. There's J Ard. Jesse's up here in the 6th position. She comes into this race 20th in the points, still looking for her first win on the season. In fact, Trackhouse Racing, as in general, still has not been to victory lane this season. There's Zachary Fitzwater. Fitzy has not had a good season, good start to the season. But the last couple of weeks, he's slowly trying to get his performance up. He's 28th in the points. And it looks like CJ Bracken got put a lap down by his teammate. So, yeah, really, I really am going to be questioning some of these crew chiefs. Why are you allowing a driver who just got their lap back only to come to pit road and get put a lap down again? That was I probably am questioning the strategy by Legacy Motor Club on the 42 camp. So that will be an interesting meeting we're probably going to discuss. As Paul Minnick in the Speedy Cash Dodge. Trying to put Carmen Alejandro back a lap down. Troubles for Alex Hawkins. He is now 2 laps down. Looks like he made an unscheduled pit stop, so he's now off the lead lap. And that's a driver who came in this race 13th in the points, as Fitzwater is now up to 2nd. Well, we talked about Rockingham, North Carolina being a tire track, or tire issue. If at best, what these drivers are going to think about, those that are on the lead lap, you probably want to do the undercut, knowing these drivers, since they pitted very early in the race, as looks like the caution is out because I see the 51 slowing all the way down. Yep, yellow is out. We've had a wreck in turn number 3 and 4. And it involved Emily Andersen. Yep, a lot of damage to that Ford. And Emily Andersen, who has been having some good runs in the last couple of weeks, has gone back to her bad luck as usual as the 4th caution is out. I was just about to get ready to say, if we went into a long green flag run, these drivers would have to play the undercut strategy. And, well, that pitch strategy, you can throw that out the window. Looks like Minnick's coming to pit road. S Ozkan, second in points involved. Chase Brooks, Bryce Egan involved. So the caution is out for the 4th time today. Let's jump back and look at a replay to see what happened, as we're not even at the midway point of this race. Well, with the fresh tires the 47 have, he was a lot quicker than Bryce Egan's. We're going to show you the replay here. I just don't think Bryce Egan realized the 47 was there and had a heck of a steam, and unfortunately, it's going to send the meat and bone Ford into the wall. And what goes up must come down. Almost got Grace Takayama. And the first person to greet, 16 got a piece of it. Chase Brooks, nowhere to go. Emily Anderson's going to run the Lucas Oil Chevrolet of Chase Brooks. And then nowhere for S Ozkan to go, as that's going to send the 15 upside down. Also flips the 22 upside down. And Emily Andersen, who was on a march, was 45th in points a few races ago, climbed all the way up to 21st in the points. This is going to be a big setback for her, and she's going to need to find something because she's more than likely going to be going in the remaining of these races in a must-win situation. As the caution, our 4th of the day, let's get to the restart here at the Rock. Going to go back to green here, not even at the midway point of today's race. Lap 62 of 138. Paul Minnick is the leader. Zachary Fitzwater in second. Scarlett Wallace in third. Haven't talked much about Scarlett Wallace all day. Carolina Bradley in fourth. Fifth is J Ard. Sixth is Daniel Gitirokh. Seventh, Alina Ricci. Eighth is Jackie Tang. Ninth, Jacob Foster. And 10th is Senor Sean. Not SHAWN, it's SEAN for that stupid YouTubio, because they like to be derping hyenas. Out of the race after that incident, those 4 drivers that wrecked out, that was Bryce Egan, S Ozkan second in points, Chase Brooks, and Emily Andersen. So those 4 drivers are going to need a bounce back, in particular Brooks and Andersen, because they're looking like they're going to be going in the remaining races in a must-win situation. 28 on the lead lap. We still have 34 in the race as we're back to green. And CJ Bracken's pit crew once again continuing to disappoint CJ. As Riley Andersen, that is not for position. Riley's trying to get back on the lead lap, but this is allowing Zachary Fitzwater to get around the 38, and Fitzy will take the race lead. Remember, Fitzwater trying to get a win to get away from 30th in the standings to have his win count, as baby CJ got up into the wall. And we're not even at the midway point of this race, oh, by the way. And if anyone was asking who was knocking on my door, it was my staff's the staff's kids. That's Maxine's kids, for anyone asking. They were knocking on my door, interrupting me while I'm recording this race. That's why I need my privacy. I thought it was Maxine who needed me for something. So Zachary Fitzwater, another driver who hasn't led this season, now getting his first laps led on the season. Because I realize half of 138 is that number. And these drivers came to pit road not really sure if fuel will be a factor or not if we continue this long green flag run. I think the big factor is going to be, are they going to make it the rest of the way on tires? Something tells me the answer is going to be a no. As the 41 just got around the 88. So move Fitzy back to second. So I'm going to go back to our schedule here. Next week, these drivers will be heading to Gateway Motorsports Park, just west of St. Louis, as, oh no, we've hit that number. And once we are, and of course, that is the halfway mark of this race, which, by the way, hey to the driver of the 41, dang. We're now halfway through this race. Riley Anderson back another lap down. Remember, she is off sequence with these drivers. Priya McShane has been checked and released from the medical center. Oh, somebody's gone up in smoke. Somebody came to pit road and is smoking. I couldn't tell who it was. It was a green car. It's Ebrahimian, and he's out of the race just like that. A valve has let go on the Monster Energy. Boy, not a good day if you're a driver that's sponsored by Monster. And Dylan Ebrahimian's day is unfortunately going to be done. That's going to move all those drivers that are a lap down or more up a spot. Ben Erickson apparently is 3 laps down. Not really sure what's up with the 96. Unless he's got damage. Yeah, he probably has got damage. Which would explain why he is not on the lead lap. As Anthony Ricci in the 62, the Go Home entry out of Beard Motorsports. Currently the race leader right now. As Anthony Ricci currently the leader. Jackie Tang is now was up the second. Carolina Bradley just got around him. Jackie Tang from California, driving for Legacy Motor Club. He's the only Legacy car that hasn't had any issues, but I suspect I don't want to jinx it right about now. Jackie Tang from California. Of course, we have yet to go to Auto Club. And yes, Sean touched the cars, by the way, so that's why I need to say, oh no, Sean touched the cars before this race, just to get that out of the way. Hopefully, this race isn't going to be like our Winston Cup race where we had a controversy of an incident. So I have 30. Now we have 33 cars. It's a valve issue that let go on D Ebrahimian. Of course, his team owner, S Ozkan, out of the race after he was involved in our last caution. He has been checked and released from the medical center. E Stanbury has already been checked and released. S Ozkan's already out of the care center. M Andersen's out of the care center, and so is Chase Brooks. So as of now, 9 of the 42 starters. Well, you can make that now 10 as Venko Seaman is out of the race with an engine failure. That means Venko Seaman is going to be must win going forward. Because that was another driver who could not ill afford another poor finish. And now Venko Seaman, he's more than likely entering these last 18 races of the regular season in a must-win situation because he needed a good run to get out of the cellar of the points table. He is 36 of 36 of the 36 charter teams, and the 33rd place finish is not going to really do his hopes any good. So Venko Seaman is more than likely going to be entering these last 18 races in a must-win situation. Because he needed a lot better of a finish than that. And that Ford team has been having a complete disaster. But Carolina Bradley just enjoying her first lap she's led in her career. Remember, she is going to be replacing the retired Cody Smart for the upcoming Winston Cup season. She will still be eligible for the Rookie of the Year honors due to the fact she only made one start in the Winston Cup series at this point. So if she doesn't make any more races, she would still be eligible for the Rookie of the Year honors since she has not taken part in 7 Winston Cup starts. Jackie Tang to the inside of the Richmond Menards Dodge. We're now on lap number 86 of 138. If you've just joined us, we've had a couple of cautions, and now 10 of the 42 starters failed to finish. Out of those 10, 3 of them have had engine failures. Carolina Bradley has really done a very good job in this number 12. Of course, she's been getting a lot of opportunities. Of course, she is from New Hampshire, which we are going to New Hampshire later this season. Just recently graduated from high school. Now in her early years as a driver. Won a race in the now retired AutoZone Amateur Series back in 2023. Really has done a very good job. Like I said, graduate from high school, now still living in New Hampshire, as Anthony Ricci has gotten around her. And we're starting to get into that long green flag run that we've been talking about a lot. As Alina Ricci still leads this race, as we're about to put 91 laps on the board, work on lap number 92 of this race. If the 41 wins, she would be in the playoffs, providing she remains in the top 30 in the points, which, as things stand, she is in the top 30. So, plus, she also has a bigger cushion between herself and 30th in the standings. Jessica Parker, who, by the way, came in this race 14th in the points, she had a total of 51 points ahead of the cut line. P McShane, we know, will fall outside the top 30 in the points because remember, the goal is simple. As long as you have a win, you got to remain in the top 30 in the points to have it count for a playoff spot. Remember what happened to Jackie Tang in the Oreo Cup Series. Got a win, but crumbled under pressure when it mattered the most. Fell out of the top 30 in the points. His wins didn't even matter. Didn't count for a spot into the chase for the championship. Jackie Tang got eliminated from the playoffs in the regular season. As the 41 just got loose trying to get around the 48. But it goes back to what I said. It doesn't matter if you have one win. It doesn't matter if you have 5 wins. If you're not in the top 30 in the points at the end of the regular season, you're not going to be battling for the championship. And I think that is on the mindset of these drivers. You got to be consistent. You got to get a win, be consistent to stay in that top 30 in the points. When we get to the regular season checker flag, which, by the way, let me look at where that will be at as my phone needs to stop being a derping hyena. Because at April, we set the playoffs. So the next few races will be Gateway, Dover, Pocono, Lowell Super Speedway, and I-69. Yes, I did say that number, but to be fair, it is a racetrack. And should point out, that is, by the way, our first night race, that 13th race of the year, that I and that number. The last thing the 41 car needs to see is a caution, because I can tell you this, these drivers are going to have to pit for tires. I have no faith they'll make the rest of the way on tires. So it goes back to what I was trying to say earlier in the event, where you got to probably play the undercut strategy of pitting for tires. For Vanco Seaman, I got to see where 33rd is in the 2014 points. I believe that's only 10 points. for Seaman, which he would already bypass Annie Thomas because Annie Thomas did not enter. Or actually, let me look. He actually finished in 33rd. He would only get 11 points. He would not, however, bypass Luis Hernandez. Remember, Luis Hernandez failed to qualify as an FYI. As Jackie Tang is now in second. Anthony Ricci is third. Fourth is Paul Minnick. Maddie Crenshaw in the top 5. Haven't talked much about Maddie Crenshaw. She's 32nd in points. That's another driver who's had a struggling start to the year. Carolina Bradley running in 6th. 7th is Senior Sean. Alex Hawkins not on the lead lap with Riley Anderson. William Davis outside Polster 8th. Emmanuel Hartnett, who was involved in that incident coming back to the caution, he's running in 9th. How he's still in the top 10, I don't know. And Jacob Foster rounds out the top 10. That's really important for Jacob to continue that momentum and build a big enough cushion to where if he starts having troubles, he will be okay as far as staying in the top 30 in points and not have to worry about that cut line. But I think for Priya McShane and that 21 team, they're going to need to bounce back because we're going to have to see what the gap is between herself and 30th in the standings because she will drop out of the top 30 in the points. So we're down to 30 laps of racing to go here at the Rock. Want to remind everybody this copyrighted broadcast is presented by the authority of the World Racing Association for the private use of our audience. Any reproduction or rebroadcast or retransmitted or any other disseminations or the use of this broadcast without the express written consent of the World Racing Association is prohibited. Blue Hedgehog TV, the World Racing Association, want to thank you fans for your support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast. Pole day qualifying next week will be at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The race will be at 2 Eastern Standard Time next weekend from Gateway. Of course, Jessica Parker's already gone a lap down. Remember, she's been off the pace ever since getting that damage in that third yellow. And only 10 of the 42 starters, as things stand, will fail to finish. Notice Quentin Moore running in 21st. Sam Davis is coming to pit road. I wonder if he couldn't make it on tires. Hartnett's coming on pit road. So this answers the question I was just talking about. I think they're feeling like they can't make it the rest of the way on tires. I mean, wouldn't hurt. Play the undercut. If they can't make it on tires, I think this is a good opportunity because I don't see anybody making it the rest of the way on tires. Now that we're into a long green flag run. So this makes a lot of sense to come to pit road and get those tires. Because you want to have fresh tires before this is all said and done. Let's see if the 5 has found any speed. Oh, yeah, he is quick on fresh tires. This must be fresh tires, because he is a lot quicker. Yep, looks like, oh, somebody got on the wall there. Yeah, it looks like we're seeing tire strategy. Gonzalez just came in. Oh, Senor Sean's in trouble. He must have had a tire going down or something's up on the freeway Chevrolet. Ah, no. That will not be a caution because he's out of harm's way. That's a shame for the 99. Was hoping for a good result. That's not going to happen. And just like that, Sam Davis has caught the 41. Whoa! 41 didn't realize the 5 was coming. Yeah, the 5 has unlapped himself. This has got to be an undercut strategy. If you're Jackie Tang, I would like for you to come to pit road, get you fresh tires. Because look at how slower you're going. Look how quick the 5 is going. I think these drivers will have to change 4 tires. I mean, they have enough fuel to make it the rest of the way. The problem is tires are a factor. Because the 5 just blew by the 41 like the 41 was standing still. As Sean still sits on pit road. Don't know if it's a tire went down or if he's got a mechanical problem that will push him back behind the wall. We'll get an update on Sean whenever we get a chance. These guys got to pit for tires. Because that 5 car is flying. And Sean is coming back out on the track. Looks like whatever the issue is happened on that machine. He has now returned the race. He will now be 4 laps down, but he'll bypass Ben Erickson. And Sean did not need another bad finish. Sean came as race 10th in points. Boy, he did not need this. So we're going to have some drivers move themselves inside the top 10 in points after a number of drivers who've had troubles today dropping out of the top 10 just like that. Looks like Sean did have a tire going down because he's a lot quicker than the leaders. If he would have came to pit road, he would have been fine. As he's about to get one of his laps back. They're about to put D Gitirokh a lap down. Sean just got around Jackie Tang like Jackie was standing still. These guys have got to pit for tires. I don't see them making it the rest of the way. I think Sam Davis made the right call. Come to pit road, get your tires. I mean, you got nothing to lose. Hartnett did the same. There's Sam Davis. As he is stuck behind Troy King and Danielle Witter. That 5 car is flying on fresh tires. And Sean got around. The leader. Now he's 3 laps down, so he's got fresher tires. Coming to 10 laps to go. Would anybody even give up track position for fresh tires? I mean, we'll have to see as we're now nearing 10 laps of racing to go here at the Rock. Do you even take the gamble if you're those drivers, as the 2 has now gone a lap down? Jesse now the last car on the lead lap in 21st. If the gamble works, the gamble works. If the gamble doesn't work, we'll have to wait and see. Jesse already not having the day she would have liked. I mean, was inside the top 10 before those cycle of pit stops. I really am wondering if fresh tires was going to play a factor in this. Because remember, Emmanuel Hartnett already pitted for fresh tires as he just scraped Gitirokh as he's just trying to get around the leaders. The last thing the 41 needs to see is a yellow, because this could play an interesting scenario. I think the 17 is a lap. Yeah, 17 is a lap down, but he got around the 2 like he was standing still. And now he's back on the lead lap just like that. Remember, fresh tires. Gonzalez is also on fresh tires. They're just gobbling them up like they're just standing still. I don't know if this strategy is going to work. Those drivers that are staying out on these old tires, I don't know if that was a good call or not. As we're at 4 laps of racing to go, Lena's trying to lap the 48 of Jessica Parker, who's now going to go a second lap down. And we'll get around the 48 without much of an issue. Jesse's dropped to 22nd. I like the gamble. I just don't like this call of staying out on tires. But Sam Davis is trying something, so you got to give him props for that. As next time by will be 2 laps of racing to go. I think Sam Davis is going to run out of time to get back on the lead lap, if you know what I mean. Hartnett's trying to race up there to get back on the lead lap. Looks like I thought Fitzwater came to pit road. Oh, the 7's running 11. 7-11. Oh, thank heaven. Oh, the 41's into the wall. White flag was out. The 41 got pushed in the wall by the 5. Where's Jackie Tang? There he is. That was kind of rude of Sam Davis to do that. But E Ricci's going to hang on and get her first win of the season and of her career. Alina will win the Subway 400. That was eventful. Wow. That I was not expecting. Oh, and we've had a crash. Quentin Moore's involved. Jesse's involved. Whoa, 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 whoa. What just happened over here? Hold on. Quentin Moore crashed on the final lap. The caution is out, but it doesn't matter. The race is over. And looks like Sam Davis just took out Q-Man. What was that all about? And remember, Sam Davis was the one who almost took E Ricci out of the win. Jesse got a piece of it? Oh, boy. So Jesse's not going to complete the final lap. And then you saw the 41 run in the back of the 71. Jessica Parker and Senor Shine got involved. I don't know what the hell that was all about, but that was uncalled for. I was about to get ready to say the results until I saw smoke in turn number 3. And I don't think Quentin's going to be happy with Sam Davis. He's probably looking at Sam Davis going, what the hell was that all about? But the 41 has made it to victory lane, and they've asked the 5 car to go to the Foster's hauler after the race. Oh, boy. But Jackie Tang will get second, Paul Minnick in third, William Davis in fourth. Jesse and Quentin have climbed out of their cars. I bet those two are going to be not happy with Sam Davis after this. William got fourth. Good run for William. William Davis came into this race 17th in points. Big points day for him. Paul Minnick came into this race. Let me see where Paul Minnick was. Third in points. We'll have to see where this is going to situate Paul Minnick as far as the points lead is concerned. With the 38 or 34, we'll have to see where she finished. Jackie Tang, good points day for Jackie Tang. Absolutely needed. 34th in the standings. Anthony Ricci will get 5th. Good run for Anthony Ricci, a go-or-go homer. Maddie Crenshaw came home in 6th. 32nd in points. Big points day for her. Kyle Langland came as race at critical 30th in the standings. Comes home in 7th. Grace Takayama came home in 8th. She was 29th in the points. A well-needed run for her. Carolina Bradley had a great top 10 run all day. Finished in 9th. Now, Carolina came into this race 25th in the points, and with some drivers ahead of her that had troubles, this could put her in the top 20 in points. And Arena McShane, what a difference a week can make. Last week started on the pole, had a lot of issues. This week starts on the pole, comes home in the 10th position. So a nice quiet day for that 45 team. This time nothing happened to her for once. Thank goodness for that. Manuel Hartnett came in pitted for tires. Came all the way back to finish 11th. Remember, he was involved in our first caution of the race, and he salvaged a big points day out of this race and could have finished in 39th, but good job to him. He was gained 3 spots up to 18th in the points. Good run for him. Troy came home in 12th. Jacob Foster, we'll see where 13th is going to situate him. The good news for him, a lot of drivers ahead of him had troubles today, so I think this could put Jacob Foster inside the top 10 in the standings and also continue to build this gap between himself and 30th in the standings. Daniel Witter, a well-needed run for her, coming home in 14th. And Lucy Granger came in as the points leader. Let's see, it was a 36-point lead. Minnick finished in 3rd, 12 spots ahead of Lucy Grainger, but Grainger will still keep the points lead heading into next week's race. I think it's going to be front row 1-2 because the guy that was trying to run down Lucy Grainger for the points lead finished out of the race. That's also battling for Lucy Grainger in terms of the Rookie of the Year points lead is concerned. So there you go. Fitzwater had a good run in 16th. Scarlett Wallace, Sam Davis, really don't know why he got aggressive, why he put the 41 in the wall, then comes around, takes out Quentin Moore. Unfortunately, collected Jesse in the process. The good news is Sean wrecked the field. The bad news is Sean got involved in that last caution through no fault of his own. As you look on down to the remainder of the finishing results, a lot of these drivers just had a pretty bad day here at the Rock. 21 drivers will finish on the lead lap. Quentin Moore did not finish the last lap, got swept up in that wreck by Sam Davis. I bet you that's going to be a fun exchange between the 5 and the 71. You could also add Jesse to that list. She was not having a good day, and, well, getting involved in that accident really didn't make the situation any better. Gitirokh just really had a bad day. Riley Anderson had to make an unscheduled pit stop, never was able to recover. She was a top 10 driver in the early part of this race. Carmen Alejandro got involved in an incident with Eric Stanbury, never was able to recover. 26 for her. CJ Bracken, I bet you he's got to be angry at his crew chief because he got himself back on the lead lap, but then his crew chief's like, no, we need to have you get put a lap down. CJ really frustrated with 28. Jessica Parker got involved in 2 wrecks through no fault of her own, finished off the lead lap. Alex Hawkins, unscheduled pit stop, never was able to recover. 30th for him. Ben Erickson, tough break for him in his second start. 31st after he had a top 15 run last week at Talladega. Senor Sean, not the day he was hoping for, had mechanical problems, was running in the top 10 for most of this race. Unfortunately, going to end up in 32nd. And then 10 drivers did not reach the conclusion of the race. So we had 21 drivers finish the race, 32 on track, and then 10 drivers didn't reach the conclusion of the race. 3 of them, Seaman, Ebrahimian, and Almas, were due to mechanical failures that sadly took both of those drivers out. I bet those drivers are disappointed. And then in between Ebrahimian and Almas, those drivers involved in the 4 cautions that we had to work through in this race. P McShane definitely going to fall out of the top 30 in the points. Eric Stanbury is going to drop out of the top 10 in the points, although I bet you he's going to have some explaining to do why he stopped in the middle of the racetrack and unfortunately took out some drivers that really should have not been involved in that wreck. Samad Ozkan, second in points, out of the race. Chase Brooks, out of the race. That was definitely not what Chase Brooks needs. I can say this, Chase Brooks is more than likely going to find himself going into these last 18 races in a must-win situation, along with Vanco Seaman, because both of those drivers needed a lot better finish than that. And with the disappointing starts to the season for those drivers, I could definitely tell you they're both going to be must-wins going forward in the regular season. But congratulations to E Ricci on her first career win and her first win of the season. Hope you guys enjoyed today's race from The Rock. If you did, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the World Racing Association crew today. We've shown your full finisher results. Your point standings are down in the description as a result of today's race. And we will see these drivers next week at Gateway Motorsports Park. Now for our studio engineer, that is the YouTuber. I'm D DeVoles. Thank you for joining me and saying goodbye and good night from The Rock. We congratulate E Ricci on her first career win and first win of the season. Coming up next, we'll rejoin the Infinity Network Sports Studios programming already in progress. We will talk to you next week from Gateway. You've been watching the PCSRA Foster Series on the World Racing Association's Multimedia Network.